legit. Anything you want.
Sivler quietly climbs higher as cries of mass arrests, sealed indictments and military tribunals go silent. We're quietly climbing as Sivler catches a whiff that mass arrests, military tribunals, and locking her up just aren't going to happen. Those are Q's last two posts, and the posts are curiously from the same day the very limited federal government shutdown began. One day of will still be paid in arrears work was all Q could take? Does Truth take a day off? Or does Truth just have a fat accumulation of accrued time off, from the generous federal employee compensation package, to enjoy during the holidays? People will come back and say, Q is getting people to learn the truth. Q is waking people up. Well, not really. Here's the thing, by now, everybody who wants to be awake is already awake, and anybody who wants to know the truth is already searching for it. Real truth tellers in the alternative media spread the message before Q, and real truth tellers in the alternative media will spread the truth after Q. But unlike Q, the true alternative media will not be spewing official US government deep state propaganda as in getting us to believe what the deep state wants us to believe. Okay, $, what propaganda are you talking about? Good question. I really don't spend much time at all on Q, but from what I do know, well, this, spreading propaganda that our problems come from the our problems come from our government regardless. Spreading propaganda that we went to the moon we didn't. Spreading the US government's 9/11's propaganda and right on Q, no pun intended. Rust Sessions just one of several inconsistencies. I'm sure there are many more inconsistencies and examples of Q spewing the government propaganda, but here's a classic example, one of Q's last posts. Post number 4,432,758, links 08 tweet hitch ends with the phrase "ild the wall." Here's a question, why has Q, so big and bad on researching the truth, not taken the time to perform its own due diligence and research how and why it is that on Paul, Peter Schiff and others are saying the wall is meant to keep Americans in and not to keep people out? Some people, yours truly included, even realize the border wall will be exploited by our own US government to carry out all sorts of evil deeds. But what do we hear from Q about this evil side to the border wall? Not a peep. While we're on the subject of the wall, you can find another in-depth and true alt-media view on the border wall right here. Okay, $, why are you talking about the wall so much lately? Have you ever heard the phrase "no need to beat a dead horse"? Good questions. To the latter, yes, I have heard of that phrase. To the former, well, it is kind of hard not to talk about the wall right now. Why? Well, it's December 16th, just an arbitrary date I pick. President Trump has literally tweeted dozens of times about the wall. That is pretty telling. Now I get it, Trump is determined to get the win on this, and the president plays 4D chess not to lose, and all that other jazz, but I just ask that you look a little under the surface and see the wall for what it is. It is funny too, because the "ild the wall" zealots link old videos of prior presidents and politicians, nearly all of whom are corrupt deep staters, talking about how we need to "ild the wall" and have better order, security and all that stuff. Please understand that if words like that are coming from people in the deep state, the thing being discussed is not in our best interest. In the case of the border wall, not only is it not in our best interest, but the wall will actually be used against us. It is that serious. Oh yeah. And whatever happened to the cries of corrupt "ild indictments, ass arrests, military tribunals, traitors sent to GITMO, and all that other rain the swamp stuff? I have a two-word answer: else hope. Or the answer could be I dream. And if you want a longer answer, I'd say you've all been duped, and we are about to be sold down the river. Seriously. Moving on. I have been talking about the topping process and the gold to silver ratio. We clearly see the ratio topping. Sure, you can no longer get 87 ounces of silver for that one single ounce of gold, but the ratio is still extreme, favoring a gold to silver ratio arbitrage play sometime down the line. Gold is squarely above its 200-day moving average. I gotta tell ya, that gold daily chart looks freaking awesome. I really don't see how people think gold is going to $1,000, and by looking at that sweet bottoming on the daily chart, I'm sure people who say gold is going to $1,000 are quietly walking back their forecasts. As of approximately 1:30 p.m. EST, it may be just barely, but silver is also above its 200-day moving average. It sure is nice to see 4 up days in a row. I have been talking for some time about an upside surprise I'm looking for in silver. Was this week that upside surprise? No. It was not. I'm talking about a move of at least $1, followed by 75-cent moves, all happening within days. That said, last Friday silver closed the week at $14.69. Assuming a close of $15.40 today, that's a move of nearly 5% in 1 week. It's a start, and I'll take it. Furthermore, from the low of $13.86 back in mid-November, we're up over 11%. And if that wasn't reason enough to start feeling bullish, how about the 2 higher lows and 2 higher highs that are now on silver's daily chart since that mid-November low? I've been saying that gold and silver want to run here, and especially with silver, I think the white metal is going to break out to the upside hard and fast. We'll see. Palladium is consolidating over time, and that consolidation is looking pretty healthy right about now. Platinum even looks like it wants to break out. After double bottoming, I think platinum's next move is higher. Base metal copper looks a lot like platinum, while under its 50-day moving average, copper is finding support above $2.65 and not wanting to go much lower. I think copper can break out here too, and I also think copper's next big move is higher, not lower. Granted, I've been wrong about and humbled by crude oil. While we are off the lows, the crude oil chart is starting to look like that bear flag I was talking about before this most recent leg down. If that is the case, then we may well see another leg down in the price of crude oil. To me, however, crude oil is signaling that market chaos and a massive recession economic collapse are straight ahead. I had to zoom in real close to show just how much of a farce this week was in the stock market. The price action is confusing. Why? Well, it is obvious that somebody is stepping in to prop up the market, but with President Trump's outspoken desire for lower interest rates and for the Fed to change course, I find it hard to believe that using the plunge protection team is in the president's best interest. That is to say, by letting the stock market fall harder and faster, the sooner Powell and the Fed step in and change course, and the sooner President Trump can see his totally legit stock market surge to all-time highs again. Additionally, some people also think the president is setting the Fed up to take the blame for the stock market crash and/or recession. That said, why would President Trump want a rally right about now? Furthermore, for maximum effect, wouldn't it be in Trump's best interest that the stock market really, and I mean really crashes hard, especially during the holidays, the Grinch who stole the stock market, so Trump can blame the Fed for the holiday bah humbug and then ride in on a white horse to save us all? So things aren't adding up. Things will add up soon enough. And my gut is telling me that when things to add up, all the people who think President Trump was a good guy are either going to be let down as I was or in denial, that cognitive dissonance thingy. I have been saying more volatility is ahead of us, and I don't think that's the worst of it either. We could really see some fireworks next week as we ring in the new year. Dollar bulls must be very nervous right about now. The dollar opened below its 50-day moving average, and it stayed below the average all day. Bearish. Yield on the 10-year note just keeps on heading lower. I have said all along the United States can't handle higher rates, and it almost looks as if 3.2% is about all we could handle. What's the bottom line for this week? Gold and especially silver are now more expensive than they were last week, and the week before that, and the week before that, and so on and so forth.